It's wonderful to start this day with a wonderful friend of mine, and also she is a very, very bubbly woman. What can I say? She knows so much of many things, but she's very subtle in her words. Raina Tandon is the other side of my screen. But before I talk to her, I'll just say hi to her and give an introduction to her. Hi, Raina, how are you?
I'm good, Jyothi. It's always a pleasure to be with you. I think this is the second or the third time I've been at your show, and it's always an honor to be among your people, among your crowd, and you, especially. Such a warm
Thank
hearted
you.
person. So, thank you for having me on Women TV.
Same here, same here. It's always very, very fantastic to talk to you. So, this show is available on Women TV India. You can watch this show, and also we are streaming it live on Jyothi Srinivas live. So first thing is Raina Tendon, what she is. She's a. We all know that she's beautiful, wonderful woman. Apart from that, she is a founder CEO of Right2rise and RKT Foundation. She is also women and child rights advocate. Apart from that, she is an international mentor and TED speaker. Wow, there's so much more to tell, but I'm running out of words and running out of time to introduce Reina, because if I start introducing Reina and her awards, we need another half an hour. So so continuing on that part, so tell me, Raina, today's topic is quite interesting when I've discussed with you offline of child abuse, child discrimination, and many things. Now, do you think social media plays a major role in such things happening, or it was happening earlier also? We didn't notice. अभी हम notice कर रहे हैं क्या है?
So, social media has always been there,
Hmm.
and we have always looked at it in the bad ways and the good ways. We start
Hmm.
analyzing everything with the experiences that we undergo. But a lot of
Correct.
times there are new experiences that come in our life, and we are really
Hmm.
shocked because we don't know that we are going to come across something unexpected. For example, there was
Hmm.
a lady who called me at around 3:30 today, and she said my
Hmm.
mother-in-law is getting SMSs on a mobile phone constantly from some
Hmm.
unknown numbers, and every time we block it,
Mhm.
we get it from a new number. I don't know what this is all about, but
Mhm.
I'm so worried because every now and then I'm getting a new message saying that uh, she is probably been hacked by somebody who tells her that she's owning a loan, and if she doesn't pay it back, then they will take some action. They might sue her, they might do something harmful to her and her family, and she was worried.
Oh
So
my
I
God.
said,
Okay.
yeah, I would ask you, how would you feel if you get something like that?
Oh my God. I can't. I can't. I mean, matlab, I would have, shivered, and I didn't know what to. Of course, I would have approached you only, like what she has done. So, what
Right.
happened then?
Right. So, the difference between a person who is knowledgeable with social media and with cyber harassment, cyber bullying, cyber looking, and also making your children aware. Today's topic is more about how defaming, how bullying, how ragging, how discrimination can happen online, offline with our children, including us. So, in that situation, what I actually asked her was few critical things. What's happening? What were the messages? How is it coming? Where is it coming from? How? What are the numbers? How does they look? What have they been? What is that coming in the message? A lot of other
Okay.
facts. And after
Okay.
analyzing that, I realized that this might be a fraud which is happening online, where this person has tried to just put these kind of messages, not specifically to her, but maybe to a lot of other people.
Oh
Now,
God.
what
Okay.
this man is trying to do is he's sending, say, messages to Jyothi, Srinivas, Mr. Mohan, Mr. Rahul, Mr. Shitij, Mr. Anil, Mr. C, Siri, or anybody else, and he's trying to find out whether any of them are getting panic attacks. So, like you said,
Okay.
if somebody puts you a message and tells you that you owe him money or you've been fooling him and they're supposed to give it back, otherwise I'm going to harm you, you will be really worried. But if you
Correct.
cool headedly watch, maybe that message is not exactly for you. It's a message that is coming
Mhm.
over a large web of services on the LAN and WAN, and it's meant that somebody gets panicked. and then says, okay, what should I do? Where do I give the money and then pay them back? So I told her to
Okay.
call in for the police officials and also to the
Mm.
cyber safety cell
Cybercrime.
from where she got it. And they called in, they asked her to submit all her stuff. She also went to the police station and filed an FIR. And then she called up just 5 minutes back before we could enter that, it's sorted. They are trying to figure out who this person is. And it is something that is not directed to me, but it was directed to multiple numbers on the WAN network. So
Oh.
these are very common frauds that occur.
Mm-hmm.
Now, coming back to today's topic, discrimination of children. These things
Mm-hmm.
can happen even to our children, where you can
Mm-hmm.
get a message coming to your child either by a friend or a colleague or a school buddy or somebody in the society or somebody who's unknown to him but obtained his
Mm-hmm.
number and having a message, hey, you don't really look good, and I know maybe you have a girlfriend or you have been borrowing money or you've been having drugs or you've been having something like that, smoking or thieving or anything, in terms
Correct.
of something that they know that your boy is weak at, and they might come back and tell you that you need to give money. If you don't give money, then I will probably blackmail your parents or tell them or leak out your messages. Now what happens in this is that we are unaware about this as parents. Our
Absolutely.
children don't
Absolutely.
really talk about this a lot if we don't keep them comfortable or we are not building up trust. So, where
Correct.
is the gap to be filled? If you want this
Mm-hmm.
solution, then you have to actually talk to them, speak to them, remove that anxiety, remove that shaming that they have inside them sometimes, that we are not good enough, and go to the
Mm-hmm.
next level and say, hey, is there something that is troubling you? Because I'm sure you will see that frustration, or you will see that anger, or you will see even that pain, that something is wrong on their faces if you are really really looking at your children, okay, and you
Correct.
spend a lot of time with them, at least few times in a day, when
Mm-hmm.
you're actually talking to them and saying, is everything okay, have you done your stuff, have you played with your friends, or whatever you talk to your children, at least have a conversation, and that is what is important.
Very true.
So
Very true.
yes,
Absolutely.
that
Absolutely.
was what
Correct. No,
that situation
the
had.
other
Yes.
point. Yeah. Yes. So the point I want to connect also is that is earlier, if you take 20 years back and now, why is that bullying and discrimination or judging somebody, especially in kids, I've noticed that, even tiny thoughts talk like, hurry, your nose is big, you're fat, you're thin,
Mhm.
huh? You always cry, you're dirty girl or dirty boy or whatever. These words I've never seen when I was a kid. Of course, there were couple of incidents like eve teasing, and that was all that guys who sit on the wall and tease you while you're walking, and that's different. And but now I've seen that it has gone to everywhere, even in schools, even in colleges. It's huge now. As a common person, say as a mother, you'll always be like, afraid, what will happen to my child who's just 12 to 14 years old, who's into adolescence age and he's confused. So is that because this kind of YouTubes and social media and everything is exposed too much, that kids who are teasing other kids are getting carried away? Is that the reason? That's what I want to ask you.
So there are two, three questions in this
Mhm.
in your
Mhm.
conversation. Let's take it one bit
Mhm.
at a time. Okay.
Mhm.
So you have said there has been a time where these things never used to occur, but nowadays there's a lot occurring in society. So first, let's understand what is body shaming and bullying. There are two different things. Body
Mhm.
shaming is defined as something where an intentional act is done on a
Mhm.
child or on a adult of humiliating
Mhm.
him regarding the
Mhm.
person's appearance, face, looks, shape, fat, thin, your fair, your dark, your negative, any kind of intent that is done on a person with the
Mhm.
idea that I want to harm him. So it's
Correct.
exclusively done in communities where this is very common, and you share a very good rapport. Now that can be even at
Mhm.
workplace where you have colleagues who share a very common or who have a revenge rapport, or it can be
Mhm.
among our youth. So among children,
Mm-hmm.
it becomes so much easier because you're living and you're staying with them all the time. What is
Correct.
bullying? Bullying can be done on somebody. Like we see it mostly in colleges and schools because that's where we see one person hating the other
Mm-hmm.
person, and that's why you bully him, or it's become a trend.
Mm-hmm.
There will be less bullying that is seen today and more ragging or body shaming or discriminating, because that's the new form or the new look of bullying. Not that now you tell
Mm-hmm.
a person to strip down your clothes or to become a kukuruku, or you become some kind of activities that we see on social media and also hear
Correct.
of.
Correct.
But
Mm-hmm.
why is it done? You have to understand it is done only with two
Mm-hmm.
things. Either you're too
Mm-hmm.
cool with a person and you want to put down that person for some reason, or you're taking extreme revenge. The second thing is, what
Oh.
does it cause? It causes
Mm-hmm.
self-esteem low. So if your
Mm-hmm.
child is actually undergoing that, you will really see it on his face. His self-esteem will be low.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be cornering, moving away from the people. He'll be quiet. If he's
Mm-hmm.
been bullied, he will feel very shameful. He might be
Mm-hmm.
not mixing with the other people. He's an individual
Absolutely.
who's self-harming himself. So apart from the social anxiety, when somebody ridicules you, when somebody talks ill about you or about your appearance, you'll not want to go and mix with people. You'll avoid meeting people. You will be
Mm-hmm.
isolated. You will be in depression. You'll always be maybe in
Mm-hmm.
a gadget, in your phone or in your laptop. You will try to harm yourself. So maybe there are people who will go to the extent of suicide, or there'll be people who
Oh.
get too self-critical. I'm like this. Why
Mm-hmm.
am I like this? Oh, you, even if you go and tell your son or your daughter that, why don't you just fill up the mug of water, or the jar of water? Why don't you just take your bed sheets? And they'll be like, why are you always after me? Because I'm so messy, because I'm like this, because I'm like that. They become self-harming because the esteem
Oh.
inside them is already pressed down by people outside. So even when you
Correct.
tell them small things, which is supposed to be their responsibility, they will react in the other way and they will probably be indulging in harming themselves.
Oh
The
God. Okay.
third thing, so social anxiety, depression, self-harming behavior, isolating, being too much with gadgets, eating disorders. Okay, you can actually
Mm-hmm.
see them not eating really well. So we've seen
Mm-hmm.
a UK survey that was being done by a charity organization, and they said almost
Mm-hmm.
65% of the children who are roughly in the
Mm-hmm.
age of 13 to 18 show
Mm-hmm.
that if their self-esteem is put down, then they will not be eating well. They will
Mm-hmm.
either be eating little or none, and that signs can easily be seen by obesity, by gaining more weight, by stressful eating. You eat a lot, or you don't eat at
Mm-hmm.
all and you become very
At
weak,
all.
where you have your
Correct.
iron low, your hemoglobin low, and other things. So
Correct.
probable reasons are that
Mm-hmm.
they are trying to either hurt you in some way, and
Mm-hmm.
they are not able to express it because they have been totally pressed down.
Correct.
Now, what can you do with them is something that we all need to look at. So,
Mm-hmm.
yes, I'll wait for your next question. This is how a child feels when he's been undergoing more of body shaming, because nowadays, see, like you said, why is it happening now?
Mm-hmm.
When we were young, I still
Mm-hmm.
remember I was not very thin, skinny, bony. I was quite plump. Okay. And everybody used to tell me, hey, you look like a. Okay, this is really funny, but I had some pet names when I was young. So they used to call me either a samosa.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in my family actually knows that I like samosa a lot. That was one of my very good foods that I was craving for. So they used to call me samosa. And a lot of other names, which used to define myself in comparison to that. But we used to never
Mm-hmm.
feel so bad because we were being self cared, or we had a lot of self care love given by the family members, and everybody was
Mm-hmm.
staying together. So it was
Correct.
only
Correct.
like a joke that everybody names you. It's not like intentionally done to hurt you. Now what happens is, with
Mm-hmm.
most of the families being secular, with most of
Mm-hmm.
the families being nuclear, we have only the
Nuclear.
husband, wife, and the children. And the husband and
Mm-hmm.
the wife
Mm-hmm.
don't really have so much time to give to the children because they're also very
Mm-hmm.
occupied either by the home course,
Absolutely.
being
Mm-hmm.
at home, or they are actually being at home but still at work with their laptops,
Mm-hmm.
because now that you're not even having the time to travel so that you can be at
Very
rest,
true.
now you have every time 24 into 7 on the laptop. So mind also gets stressed. So even after your
Mm-hmm.
work, you're not able to give time to your children. So
Mm-hmm.
then what do the children do? The children are so stressed because mom and dad don't have time, and maybe they don't have
Absolutely.
grandparents around them. So the only solution to them is that they don't have anybody to seek, talk, or even communicate. So that's where they
Mm-hmm.
feel that the next point of action is going back to the laptop, friends, social circle, and you might have somebody who's pressing down, but they don't have anybody to talk about it. So that's where we say that
Absolutely.
look for signs, because not everybody will talk to you. Like, you don't expect every child to come and talk to you, because they're not going to do that. Okay.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's where I'm coming to. So where, as you told that, they find happiness or they find some kind of solace in friends and everything. And one thing is, I've noticed, especially my niece and all are around 18, 19 or something around 16 years. They have a group of themselves with a couple of group friends calling themselves rock star group or something, something. I'm telling for example. And I've seen even in the chats talking about, Array, did you see that film? She looks very thin. I mean, I don't know when I will, come to that level of being like Deepika Padukone or being like so and so actress. So is that, the parameters are set by the students or the kids or themselves, or is that the kind of pressure which they get among their friends saying that you should, if you're thin, if you have big eyes, if you know to put makeup, if you know to dress well, then you're considered the hot girl of the class or the hot girl of the conversation. Otherwise, you are being considered as a dumb idiot. So these things I have constantly been noticing, and I've seen that has put a lot of pressure to these girls also. I'm talking specifically to girls, so I'll come to the boys later. But then specifically, if we talk about the girls, they themselves think that I am not as beautiful as so and so in the class. So these kind of conversations in the group is carried forward, whenever they go out or they, go with their friends. That they take time. I've seen young girls of 16 and 15 going to beauty parlors and getting things done to look hot and beautiful. So, what do you think about this?
So there are multiple things again in this. Number one, if you are beautiful, young, you still want to look good, because there's a lot of competition compared to what we had before. Okay, when we
Mhm.
were young, we probably didn't even know how to use a lipstick or an eyeliner. Okay, we never
Absolutely.
even thought about it till we came into the college. We didn't even look at 10th or 12th, because uh, we did look good as it is, and everybody was okay with it. But now this is things are such change that even a 5-year old today looks at a mom and says, "Hey, I want a purse. I want a little lipstick. I want a little nail polish. I want a little eyeliner. I want to look beautiful with the dressing that or the shoes that they do. They want to even put makeup." Now, if that child who's at 5 is so very competitive already, by the time she reaches her teens, she'll be always looking at people around her and wanting to look the best. But there are children who are fatter, maybe not so good looking, and they are not very fair. They are very different in shape. Two things: if they have very good parents, if they have very good backgrounds, if they have very strong siblings, and they are very high at self-esteem, they will stand up like
Mhm.
we see Vidya Balan or Priyanka Chopra or any of the other ladies who speak up that I do undergo depression because of certain reasons, but they are role models to say, be happy the way you are, love the way
Mhm.
you are. They walk up, they break the taboo, they try to come up and they speak about breaking the biases, touching glass ceilings. They do come and say, let's be the change together. They talk. And there are some kids who listen to them and feel that they are role models to them, because they start equating them. But these are only a few number, maybe 20%. The other 80% are people who don't have support at home, or their self-esteem or
Mhm.
confidence levels are not so big. So either they watch any of the YouTube videos and they are highly charged up, or they are at the low self-esteem level, high anxiety level, that we say, that they undergo body shaming. make feel oneself ashamed of their own body, go back and feel that somebody's attacking their identity or they are not the person. It could be fat shaming. Some of them are really fat and bulky, so they feel that they're not very gorgeous looking, they're very clumsy. Some of them come very lazy and shabbily dressed. Some of them are very skinny. So skinny or skin shaming also is something. Hey man, you look like bones or you look like a stick. So even that they don't feel good about. Hair shaming. Uh, some of them have too much hair on their body, whether it's man.
Mm.
Sometimes people make fun of you. Why are you looking like so and so celebrity who has a lot of hair? So hair shaming, skin shaming, skimmy shaming, fat shaming. There are other shaming like if you are really big built and if you wear really sexy clothes, then people call you slut. Then there is identity shaming. There is also sexual shaming. If you are LGBTQ, and if people know that you are from different gender, different sexuality, or you are from a different culture, say I'm North Indian, you're South Indian, so they start even putting you in that bracket that you are from that area, and they start shaming you. So for these kind of
Absolutely.
kids, they don't know what to say because maximum number of people are from that community. Say if I'm working in Mumbai, maximum number of
Mm.
community of the people will be Marathi. So if I am a
Correct.
South Indian, then if I have to fit in that culture, I have to look exactly like them and to walk like them. Then comes the sense for the child, for the youth or the teen, that I need to fit in this. I need to fit in this culture. I need people to accept me. And for that
Correct.
acceptance, I will do anything. Then they go back, they start becoming demanding. They ask their parents, they go to the parlors, they want to be dressed in the best and the costliest clothes. They want to be looking at their best because they want to feel fit in that culture, which otherwise they don't have the strength to stand up and say, hey, I look the best the way I am. So now the duty is that we parents need to
Mm-hmm.
talk a lot about this topic, need to talk about bullying, anti discrimination. Why do you think that you don't look good enough? What is that one unique character that you see inward and outward that make you look good? What do you really think in comparison to others? How do you stand, whether it's in knowledge, skill, attitude, or in looks? So if
Correct.
we casually talk about these discussions, not like putting it point blank, if we casually are having some catchy conversations during the weekend, we can intentionally or unintentionally, unconsciously get the answers for this and say, how do you feel? So what happens is, I'm sure if they answer, it will be on top of their mind. And anytime somebody comes back and says, "Hey, you don't look good," or "You look very ugly," or "You look very not so good," then it's somewhere there that no, hey, mom and dad, my mother and my father, my close buddies, my relatives, they have spoken to me, and I am the best version of myself. Nobody
Correct.
can actually be like me. So that has to be instilled by us, Jyoti. We
It
are
absolutely
role
is.
models to a lot of us. I'm sure I see you being a role model to a lot of your friends who are there in your friend circle. So
Absolutely.
a lot of times just opening up these simple conversations can help people out of bigger things like suicide, body shaming, body drilling, bullying. Bullying is quite common in hostels, but to educate
Mm-hmm.
people, I'm saying even eating disorders is something everybody can look at. If your teen, if your child, if your person is not eating well, there can be only two, three things: either stress, or there's something troubling them, or there's something that is running in their mind. Could be body shaming, could be bullying, ragging, feeling not really good about yourself, or anything else. So
Very true.
I think
Very true.
uh, time and again I will keep saying the same thing. Iterate it and feel what's going on inside them. Until you don't feel, then you cannot help them. The lack of expression will always be there in these people. They will be not able to talk about their feelings, they are not able to accept the person they are, and it's something very serious because every time they'll be comparing themselves with somebody else. Okay,
Absolutely.
so
Very
be
true.
conscious about that.
So, before I end the session, one last question. You're almost 24 minutes now, and I didn't even
Sure.
realize it was going very flawless. So, thing is, you're saying that, parents should talk to their kid and everything. But what happens is, especially with the kids who are in the adolescence age, especially guys, girls at least are sometimes vulnerable to their parents, especially mother or something like that, sister, something like they'll be vulnerable because they're very emotional. But guys, if you see, most of them are introvert. Introvert, matlab, that doesn't mean they are like sitting inside or not talking. They'll be talking to everybody, they'll be normal. But then when it comes to their personal things, they don't share even to their parents or friends. They'll keep it with them, thinking that maybe the parents will judge them. So it can be as simple as body shaming, or it can be something in terms of in something especially when you're in your teens, you're falling in love and all the teeny teeny loves. So all these breakups happen, everything happens. So they might be going through a lot of depressions, and which they don't want to share with parents or even with their siblings. I'm talking especially with the boys. When there is a change, there is a change within them in physical attributes or in their voice or whatever. So, what should we, as a parent, the parents who are, talking to them constantly, or the friends, or anybody who are older than them, it's very difficult to talk to this kind of kids, especially the kids who come under the bracket of introvert, who are not vulnerable, who don't talk much. So, how to, as a parent or as an older person, as a person who knows them very well, close in the family. Aunts are very close, or uncles are very close, mamas are very close, banji ke saath. So,
Yes,
like
yes.
I am an aunt and I'm very close to my, all the
Niece,
niece and
niece and
nephews.
nephew. Yep, yep.
Yeah, so they talk to me more good than to their actual parents. So,
Parents, absolutely.
yeah, how should we guide them? How should we talk to them? Can you put a light on that?
Okay, so very interesting question, and I am a mother of boys, so I
Mm-hmm.
do resonate with what you said. I can just tell you one thing that you can do is be a friend to them. Okay,
Okay.
don't try to be a mother, don't try to be a mentor, don't try to be a coach, don't try to be parents, don't try to be a boss, don't try to show like you know everything in the life because you've already done your bit. After
Correct.
6 7 years of age you cannot tell your boys what to do and what not to do, but you can learn and tell them, hey, I didn't know this. It's good to learn from you. Now you might be thinking, why am I saying this? Because when you tell them that it's good to learn from you, then they start listening to you. Why should anybody listen to you? Why
Correct.
should anybody listen to you? People should listen to you only when you listen to them. Most of the time you see, if you go and talk to your husband or to your father or to your mother or to your children, if you find that they are not listening to you often, that means there is something wrong. What can be wrong
Ah,
is that you have never listened to them that much, so they are not listening to you. So if you have not given your children so much time, then they will also not listen to you. And why they
correct.
go and seek other people, whether it is mama, mami, chacha, chachi, nephew, whatever you say, is because that person, has, whenever that person meets, he gives a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of face to face interaction, a lot of eye to eye interaction, a lot of presence, a lot of time, and that is why the person is ready to listen to the person's idea, ideologies, even to their tips and even to their what you call, even to their coaching bits, that do this, do that, what do you really think about your future, what do you really think about this topic. So it's a good idea, build rapport with somebody else outside your house, because nowadays we don't have big families. Earlier we had big families, so it is good that we get opinions from everybody across our family. Now we have smaller families, so if I don't actually I'll put it this way, if I don't actually agree with mama or papa over some particular topic, who do I go to? I go to Google Baba. And Google Baba doesn't give you the actual answer, he gives you millions of answers and confuses you even more. So
That's
the
true.
next point of contact is my next family. That can be your chacha, chachi, mama, mami, grandpa, grandma, and the extended. So they will come and seek you. The best thing is to probably hear them out and give the best solution, that yes, you need to still go back to your parents and get another viewpoint. I'm giving you my viewpoint, but go back to your parents and get your viewpoint because you are your best critic. Whether what
Absolutely.
is good or bad in your life, you are the one who's going to decide. Put the ownership on the child. The child knows what is right, what is wrong for him, whether it's a girl or boy, because trust your own upbringing. It is you who have taught them what is right, what is wrong. It's now time for them to make those mistakes, even if they are to make those
Mm-hmm.
decisions, even if they are to make, and if they make it wrong, you're there to uphold them. So there's
Correct.
no problem in not going and approaching. But if you don't allow them to take their own decisions, what they feel is like every time I want to decide something, this person is not allowing me to do that.
Good. Correct.
And on top of that, they're not even trying to listen to my viewpoint.
Listen to that. Correct.
So if that state of mind constantly stays, then you will not have somebody who will listen to you. Ulta, you will have somebody who will go to everybody else in the world and listen to them, and they might be the wrong people.
They never come to us. Correct.
So criticizing your own appearance, criticizing other people, criticizing the way you are doing things, maybe you're not very good at subjects, maybe you're not very good at one particular terminology, English, Hindi, economics, anything. Maybe your choice of growing, maybe your body. See, a child from a child to a teen to an adult, we know that even our body undergoes a lot of changes. Men
Absolutely.
start getting mush, they start getting beards, they get the body hair, they get changes in hormones, they get changes in body parts, and so is for a lady. We get different kinds of changes in our body. So during
Absolutely.
that time, there will be a lot of upheaval of emotions also because we are not very okay with, hey, why did I get this funny mush? Why did I get this hair over here? Maybe on my ear, maybe on my side locks, maybe on my eyebrows, maybe the way I'm looking. I'm getting a different body. I'm getting really muscular. I'm getting very skinny. I'm not probably getting the necessary iron or the necessary B12 or B6. So, and I might grow dark. I might get pimples. So these are very normal things. All you have to do is support them there and say, that is a phase of growing. Just enjoy it. It's fine if you have it. Let's just pamper it with some kind of thing to settle it down. So have that excitement that yes, you are growing and you're going to become a big man or a big or a lovely lady or a beautiful one. So enjoy the process because that's how God has made us all. Instead of making it more
Absolutely.
pressure or more stressful. So yeah,
Very,
that's it for
very.
me. But yes, to avoid body shaming, bullying, discrimination of your child, I'm sure POCSO is an act that takes care of pornography and other things over children. But everything starts small, and it could be bullying, it could be ragging, it could be discriminating, it could be putting down your child, it could be anything of those kinds. So stop doing that and support your child. Be there for them. Listen to them, and if they seek any help from the people in the family, don't go stop them. It's just that they don't really have the trust yet with you. Build it over a period of time. Go talk to those people and say, "Hey, why do you think my child talks to you? Is there something that you can help that I am not doing? And that is why, I really feel that he should seek my advice as well." So maybe more listening, more care, more hearing him out, giving their opinion when asked, asking him different things, conversing with him, talking over different topics, telling him that you are also not perfect. Sometimes even that works. Okay, I see my boy sometimes he doesn't want to listen to me. Not that I'm a very perfect parent, also. So let me also put it. I'm also a work in progress. So sometimes if he doesn't want to listen to me, I just go and tell him, hey, this is not looking good. Am I looking good in this? I feel I'm looking too
Mhm.
young, or I'm feeling too old,
Correct.
or is this dress looking good on me? Do you think I should be wearing this? Do you think anybody I should be going for a party, I should be carrying this bag? He gives me his opinions because he has
Absolutely.
his own thoughts that my mom needs to look like this, and maybe when I get a girlfriend, she needs to look like this, she needs to look trendy, she needs to look this, and I want a young looking mommy. I want to be really good looking. I want to be smart. Nobody will want to look very ugly. Everybody would like to
Yeah.
be the best
Like to
person.
look the, yeah, very true.
It's good to get their choices. They always have good ones. Believe in them, trust in them. I'm sure you will get uh, very far when it goes to being a great parent. Yeah.
Wonderful, Raina. It was wonderful talking to you, and you covered all the points, especially to the parents. But still, if there is a huge kind of discrimination, or it's like, taking a toll on your kids and you're not able to handle it, then you have to. You can connect with Raina Tandon. She's available and she's working towards it. Right to Rise is all about it. So I would like to, ask people who are watching us live in Women TV India and who will also watch it after we podcast it. If it is a very serious, the child or even the woman is going through very bad phase and she's not able to handle such kind of things, whether with its peers in the working culture or with somebody who is not known, a stranger also. You can connect with Reina. She will help you and guide you on how to go about it, because even we might be too educated also, we might be working in a very big company also, but some things according to law and what are things available to us we might not be knowing, and Raina Tandon will guide you on that. Thank you so much, Raina, for joining us. It was lovely talking to you after a long time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jyoti. It was a pleasure for being at this program, being the change on Women TV India. I'm sure everybody who's watching this will leave their comments and their compliments and their questions for us. Follow, share, and subscribe at this place. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank you for
so
having me.
much. Bye bye.